Welcome to the Midlife Pilot Podcast. We are glad you're with us. What is it like to become a pilot in your 40s and 50s? The challenges are unique for those of us in midlife, but so are the rewards. Hosts Ben, Brian, and Ted talk learning to fly, growing as pilots, and the joy of flying to destinations. The purpose of the podcast is not to teach, but to share knowledge and experiences of being a midlife pilot. Join the Midlife Pilot community and listen in every week. We are not CFIs or particularly intelligent, so if you want to learn how to fly, talk to anyone else other than the hosts of a podcast. Even this intro was too challenging for us, and we used a robot to do it. Okay, checklists are complete. Let's get the show started.
Hello and welcome to episode 179 of the Midlife Pilot Podcast, where we share the experiences and challenges of flying in midlife. Well, tonight we're really past due for a whiskey episode, and so we thought, let's go ahead and crack open the beers and the bourbon and all the accoutrement and catch up on a lot of different things, and the Gatorade for that matter. With me today, we've got a crew starting off in Nashville, Tennessee, home of the Bachelorette Super Charlie. It is our friend who flies a Cherokee 180, who has been learning how to dogfight in this Cherokee 180. We call the airplane Lucy. We call him Brian Siskin. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I'm so glad to be here. And we have a lot of energy tonight, which is great because we're doing 2 in a row. And so for those of you in the chat, you might want to get, what's the thing, Ted? I don't know why, Ted, I consider you the expert on this, but
Here we go.
What's the thing where if you do your business into it, it solidifies in some sort of weird
Porta potty.
The gel stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess
Silica gel? I don't know.
I guess if you use enough of them, you can form them into bricks and make a shed in your backyard or something. I don't know. Anyway, happy to be here. Information Whiskey. It's about time. We're actually 1 episode late for Information Whiskey. We usually do them in a rotation of 4, but we've just had so many fun things to talk about. Anyway, here we are. Information Whiskey. Glad to be here. Thank you for the intro, Ben.
You're very welcome. Joining us from the left coast, the beautiful city of Portland, Oregon. He's a sport pilot extraordinaire. He flies a CTLS, we like to call the Egg, and he's everybody's friend. It's our friend Tedder. How you doing?
Hey, I am glad to be here. Yeah. It was 91 degrees in Portland yesterday, which is stunningly warm for this time of year, but it's all good.
And it was 61 in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yesterday. So there's been a pole reversal. There's something going on. I'm not sure what it is, but
yes,
here we are.
That must be really hard on all the steampunk people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Steampunk is
wearing,
not. Yeah.
You're wearing your SCA gear, even though it's the middle of summer, and yeah, you're at county fair. Yeah.
Very nice. Also joining us from the Queen City, from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's our friend, One Dog Geek, flying a Cherokee 235. I don't think he's got a name for it. If he does, he hasn't told us what it is. Or maybe I forgot it. But welcome to our, welcome back, One Dog Geek, also known as Mark.
Hello. I don't have a name for it. And I just decided at the last minute, one of the things about being behind the scenes is you guys share the links with each other. And I just jumped in. So
we need to tighten up security around here.
Another uninvited guest once again.
Exactly.
That's okay. That's a very midlife thing to do. And actually, we're very glad you're with us.
It's like you're here because of a phishing attack.
Correct.
Like, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
I'm the one executing the phishing attack. I'm going to send some links out in a second here.
Okay.
This is the payback, since we'll probably hear about in a little bit. Mr. Siskin is going to be descending upon the Charlotte area in a little while. And I guess he said, well, maybe we'll get the geek on to, cover some of my accommodations, give him a little spotlight.
Well, the difference is Brian was invited. I invited Brian. I just showed up here.
Got it. Awesome. Well, we got a little bit of feedback. Brian, do you want to go ahead and start us on the first one?
Sure. Yeah, let's hit it. Listener feedback. We got Phil Z. He says, great show. Cool to hear about Ted's adventures at WVSC and all the great content. Ted, welcome to the club. Phil Z, Papa Zulu Private, single engine and glider, working on an instrument and commercial from Lake Oswego. Or is it Oswego? Oswego?
Oswego.
Oswego. Or,
That's Oregon.
Or
I thought that was an emphatic turn that we were going to take here, but no. Or a gun. Or a gun. Guys, people read this stuff. I'm the people. Flying out of UAO and 1OR3 North Plains. So you know where all these spots are.
Yep. So North Plains is the glider port. It's the only thing in and out of there except people that are flying gliders. And UAO is Aurora. It's always a hard one to say once you've had a few drinks. That's the home of Van's Aircraft. It's also where either one or two helicopter companies are that have the non-military version of the Chinook helicopters. So it's not unusual to see those massive twin rotors over that way. And they also have some of the Ericsson Sky Cranes and things like that. Just massive helicopters. So interesting little airport.
That's
very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. We got another feedback from Michael F., whose home airport is M91. Brian, you should probably read this one because you know a little bit more, have more background to it.
Well, and you guys have his email address in the document here. Should I just read his email address as well?
It was a last minute ad. I didn't have time to.
We do have on our website, when you do submit a contact form, we do have a field for a social security number. Please put that in there. Michael F. home airport is Mike 91, which I had mentioned recently. And that's kind of where this all ties in. He says it was very timely to listen to the first 10 minutes of this week's podcast this afternoon. I don't know what episode that was. I guess it would be the last one, 178. It's very timely to listen to the first 10 minutes of this week's podcast this afternoon because look what I found in my invoice for today's repair. Sally's tack cable, Sally being an airplane, Sally's tack cable was replaced because it failed during the approach to Sun and Fun. It was repaired enough to get home without any further issues when Melissa ordered the cable from Textron. Melissa runs wing nuts over at Mike 91, which is the maintenance shop. When Melissa ordered the cable from Textron, she combined the shipment with a tube to replenish their stock. So if you guys remember, I scrambled over there last week to get a tube so I could make sure there was no interruption in my training that I'm in the middle of. And it turns out, he says that they accidentally included both authorized release certificates on his invoice. So that's what he says on my invoice. So, it's a testament to how small the aviation world is. And, I preemptively took some of their stock and then it gets replenished and the paperwork gets sent to him. This is great.
And he gets to pay for it and everybody wins.
I was going to say, that's the key part that I know we took care of, but I would love if anybody else just wants us to send our bills to you, we can work that out. But that's just cool. And shout out again to Wingnuts because they're just super responsive and helpful and are always ready to get you out of a jam. Now, I have a question. I've never experienced a tack failure, and I'm trying to just put my brain through that for a second to say, if you have no, sounds to me like this would help billing a lot for tack time, right?
I've seen tachometers where the needle bounces a lot. So you can't really get a read on exactly what your RPM is.
I have experienced a full tack failure. It was as a student pilot in Maggie. I was taking off and the tack just absolutely went completely berserk. Full tack failure. And it took a lot to get the correct size cable so that we could replace the tack.
Now, you're on the climb out with 0 RPM?
Correct. Well, with 2,800 RPM, then 1,000 RPM, then, it was all over the place. It was
interesting.
And then eventually it went down to 0.
So at that point, you're just relying on how it sounds?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And that was early enough in my training that, I'm like, I'm used to bringing the RPMs down to a particular point when I'm at the numbers point, and that was how I did it. I just followed those procedures, and it forced me to have to figure it out, which ended up being an okay thing. But
well, I mean, I'm sure all of you at some point have had your instructor cover your airspeed and fly around the pattern with no airspeed, and it's interesting to see how at first it maybe feels disarming, but pretty quickly you realize that you have an intuition and you can utilize other senses to piece all that together. So yeah, well, it's having that happen on the approach to Sun and Fun. That's just not when you want to have anything abnormal.
There's plenty of other distractions to happen for you at Sun and Fun other than a bad tachometer.
Why is it that it seems like a lot of malfunctions come up on approach into environments where it's not ideal? Stage fright for the plane? What is it?
Maybe performance anxiety for the plane.
Yeah.
I'd suspect that most of them happen before takeoff. And so now you're just left with whichever ones are still in the air. So I don't know.
it could also be a sample size thing. Those are the ones that get reported, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody who had attack failed before they turned off or took off would be like, oh, crap. Or they'd say what I say, damn it.
Damn it. Yeah.
Well, very cool. So this is a whiskey episode. Brian, do you want one of us to hit the housekeeping since you've been doing so much reading lately, or are you cool with it?
You're presenting me with an awkward choice here, Ben, because on one hand, yes, I want everybody to split up the reading and I don't want to be the one reading everything. At the same time, guys, this is a lot of words, so if you're up
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot if you.
Oh, yeah. Stick up Mark.
That's why we brought him on here.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Brian, are you going to get the timer out? Because I'm not going to try and do this fast, but I know I time you, and so.
Oh, wait.
It's on the screen.
Yep. I see it.
It is? Oh, yeah. All right.
Join our Patreon community and help us keep the Midlife Pilot podcast ad-free. Your support makes this show possible, and every membership level gets you into our incredibly active Discord community. Our Landomatic members at just $1 a month, that's 25 cents per episode, get access to the community-level Discord channels where pilots connect, share experiences, and support each other. At the Hershey Bar level and above, you'll unlock the full Patreon channels with expanded access to discussions on instrument training, plane ownership, flight debriefs, safety, career changes, plus exclusive behind-the-scene content, extended interviews, and deeper conversations we can't share anywhere else. And at the Cabs Available level, you get into our Podcast Insiders channel, where you can see how the show gets made. Plus, 10% of every dollar goes directly to Freedom Aviation Network's anti-human trafficking efforts. For everything Midlife Pilot Podcast, to support us on Patreon, send feedback, grab merch, check out event info, read our blog, and more, visit midlifepilotpodcast.com. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the air. Then hit subscribe or follow in your podcast app so you'll never miss an episode. It really helps other midlife pilots find us.
Yay.
Very well done.
Wow. That's good.
Amazing.
There was some stuttering.
Yeah, it's okay.
Did you practice that in the mirror?
I did not.
We could
really
tell.
Good. Really good.
I was going to say we could tell. Mr. Ted, you want to hit the Patreon updates? We got some new Patreon members and maybe the Discord
I will.
accomplishments.
Yeah. So at the Landomatic level this week, we have Cliff I, who joined us. At Hershey Bar, we have Carlton H. And we had a nice PayPal drop from Philip Z. So
thank you.
Thank all of you for that.
Absolutely.
PayPal drops go through a different part of the system, so it's always nice to see those and not forget about them. That's most of the problem. In our accomplishments world, Cliff, who just joined us, introduced himself and he said, "It's my first time back in the cockpit," or he was celebrating it being his first time back in the cockpit by joining up. So it's fun to see that.
That's awesome.
Just get everything out of the way at the same time. May as well just join AOPA and midlife and just do it all right on that first hour, right?
That's such a strange parallel.
I've got pilot protection services, and I've got my therapy through midlife. Yeah. Yeah. Flying Finn passed his check ride in the UK. They said, you guys have very much been part of the journey and given me the inspiration to go through the training. I remember we've seen him going through the process, and that's awesome.
Awesome.
And
yeah.
every time I'll say it, I don't understand why he's in the UK, not Finland, with the name Flying Finn.
Don't they have what do they call it? The skills,
Practical skills, I think.
or
Modular? That's what you're thinking of?
they have some word for the skills. It's not a check ride over there. It's
he used a different word.
Yeah.
Yeah. I translate it because I'm not smart enough to keep track of more than one version of it. Yeah, he called it the skills test.
Skills test.
Yeah.
Well done, Flying Finn. Well
Yes,
done.
congrats.
Our friend Dev Cannon posted that he did his first flyover for a living history event. He was flying the Navion L-17, and there were Korean War veterans, or it was a event for Korean War people.
Well, if you guys haven't, this is Dev's Navion, and it is.
That's right. Yeah.
It is out of control. Warbird Day is coming up here at Mike 54. We'll get the date in the show notes, but
Yeah, Dev
23.
posted it into ad hoc meetups.
so it's coming up soon in a few weeks, or I don't know when this puts. Yeah, so
May 23.
all right, so come on out. I'm planning on being there if all works out, and unless I'm still at Mark's house, unless I'm just kind of made myself comfortable at Mark's because the pantry is just they got Pop-Tarts. I don't know, like it's gonna be something They got all the sugar cereals I can't eat back at my house.
Mom doesn't let me. Yeah.
But yeah, Dev's plane is amazing.
The fourth person I wanted to point out was Rich H, who had a light sport that he'd been able to rent that had a demise, and he's been out of flying for a few months, and he was happy to find another airport nearby that is like, sure, we'll rent to sport pilots. We don't care. So that's always nice to hear for a few reasons. So he's about to get into, I think, 172.
Yeah, so he's at that's at AGR. First of all, it's a beautiful airport. It's kind of at the base of at the foothill of the mountains, and flew in there a lot when my oldest he was into college or technical school up close by there, and the flight school there. I almost pulled the trigger of doing my multi-time building there. Very, very nice owner. It's very close. I could commute. It would not have been a problem, but I found a deal that was, unfortunately for them, but it was almost a third of the cost on the rental rate.
Well, that's because they took into account the fact that you were going to break their plane.
I would have an MEI with me, Mark, but I appreciate you rolling the bus over the back. That's perfect. Yeah, no. So it seems like a really cool flight school there. So, and I think we got a new Patreon member that's based out of that airport as well. So his name escapes me, but I saw it's the one we had the confusion on the multiple names.
Oh yeah, Matt.
Brian,
Matt, and Matt. Yeah.
So
we need to have a separate channel. Once there's a certain threshold of people named Matt or Brian or whatever, we need to just we get our own channel at some point in the Discord.
Yeah.
And nobody else can see what goes on in there. Because, Brian's unite.
So tonight,
I can make that happen.
Catch up.
I know you can.
I know.
If you guys don't know, Geek is our Discord. I just thought about
Wrangler.
Yeah. I was just thinking about all these different words that I should not say that I thought were hilarious, but even on whiskey, we got to sort of keep it reined in here. Mark takes care of the Discord very, very well, and it keeps it very hospitable and organized and on target.
And we appreciate that, Mark. So speaking of that, Brian's got this big trip coming up. Do you want to tell us why you're going to go see Mark? Is that top secret information?
It's an intervention, but if you want to talk about it, we can.
Let's talk about it.
It's an intervention.
Let's talk about that and why you have under your title polishing dogfighting skills.
Yes, I'm polishing dogfight skills. Well, so my commercial check ride is coming up here in less than 2 weeks, and so I wanted to do something different for this check ride than what I did for instrument, in that I wanted to have an experience that was more akin to my private pilot check ride, in that it was really redeeming and fun. And I learned so much, and I walked away from that experience feeling so, even though I had, probably done some questionable things in that check ride, at points, I was good enough to pass. But ultimately, I just had such a great respect for the DPE, and I really felt like all of the pressure and all of the knowledge and all of the studying and all of the stress and just everything all culminated in this one experience that I could just feel really good about and felt really rewarded by, because I had no doubt that this person that's the DPE can see right through. They knew within 3 minutes if I was going to be passing or not. And he just took so many opportunities to teach me in the oral part of the check ride and in the practical part. And I just had such a great experience. Instrument, I wouldn't say it was that. It was more of a white knuckle experience for me. Just don't mess this up. And that's probably, I don't know, instrument check ride is just a different beast. It's not, I don't know. Would you guys agree? Ben, would you agree?
I've said it before. It's just more cerebral. It's the hardest one that I've done so far, but it feels like you've accomplished nothing. Like when you're done, you're still going to go and fly. It's like a lot has changed, but it doesn't feel like a lot's changed the day that the piece of paper is handed to you.
It's almost it's more like getting out of prison.
There's something to that. I'd agree with that. It's you don't have to memorize those on the late written, HSIs that are pointing in the wrong direction. And, it's
just all the things.
It's like a hazing. It's like a fraternity hazing.
Yeah.
You've gone through the initiation and now you're done.
That's it. So and I'm sure other people have very different experiences. Everybody's experience can be different for sure. But my experience was that I just felt an incredible amount of relief, because some people I think are really geared towards the instrument rating. I know our friend Adam is going to be probably doing his instrument check ride soon. And I've never been less concerned about somebody taking their instrument check ride in my entire life. Same with you, geek. It's like, your DPE walked away thanking you and just, wow, I really learned a lot today, geek. Thank you for that. I'll sign you off. So you guys are there's certain minds, engineer minds, I would say, and all that. We've talked about this. So, but I am not that. And so it was very difficult for me, and to get through it, I just felt relief. So now, commercial, I'm looking outside again. I'm doing this crazy thing called flying an airplane. It's wild. I'm really enjoying it again. And so it doesn't mean it's not challenging. I would probably say I've underestimated commercial a little bit going into it. It's harder than I thought. It's still easier than instrument because just anything is, but maybe that's just because it's just more fun generally. Anyway, at least it was for me. So in this process of getting ready for my commercial check ride, I've just found myself really wanting to have an experience. And so the DPE that I'm using, that I won't mention right now, but I know, Ben, you did your check ride with him for commercial, and you learned a lot, you said, and I've had some great conversations and feedback from him already ahead of the event. And I can already tell that it's going to be one of those experiences. It almost doesn't matter. If you're going into the check ride, of course I want to pass, right? Of course I want to perform well. I want to do well. And I'm working incredibly hard to make sure that happens. All that to be said, anything can go down. You can have a bad day, whatever. And I actually kind of almost don't, it's not that I don't care, but I'm open to just the truth of whatever the scenario is and how that plays out. I'm just so excited about having this experience flying with this particular person and learning what I can in that experience. And I'll get through it even if I have to do it twice. So I'm interested in just the experience aspect of it this time. And that's why I'm traveling to Mark's house because Mark lives close to the airport where this is happening. So I'll be flying 2.5 hours or so. And I decided just today that I would do it a couple hours before or a couple days beforehand as opposed to the day before so that Mark and I can go fly and I can get familiar with that airport and the goings on and the visuals and all the things. So anyway, commercial check ride.
I will say that airport is a hornet's nest. They have applied for a tower and they need it. It is the most difficult pattern in this area.
Awesome.
I did my multi-engine commercial add-on check ride there. And obviously the commercial check ride there. And will absolutely attest to everything. I think the tower, wait a minute, Concord. Is it at Concord?
No. He's going to be at
Monroe. I get those two confused. My apologies.
Yeah,
I did do the check commercial at Monroe where he's doing his, but I did my multi at Concord. And I always they're kind of pretty close together, aren't they?
Not far.
So that's why I get them confused. Sorry.
But you know that when we went and you came down and we did a preview flight for your check ride too. And you remember how crazy that pattern was?
Yeah, I do.
It is like that all the time. It's not like that all the time.
Is it one of those things where they're going to, as soon as there is a tower, they're going to go, we're not doing pattern work here, guys?
Could be. It's crazy because you've got a lot of jets coming in. You've got people in the pattern. You've got usually when I'm flying there to land. You've got a jet coming in and it's just insane.
There's a couple of flight schools at Concord that go down there, which adds into the mix. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Oh, I'll feel right at home then because that's like training at John Toon before the tower opened up. Yeah. So I feel good in the chaos.
You're used to a busy airport. The two airports we're talking about are EQY and VUJ. Is that right?
No, JQF. Concord is JQF and Monroe is EQY.
Yeah, just like it sounds. Monroe, EQY.
Yeah, exactly. JQF.
And Concord is JQF.
Yes.
They just rolls right off the tongue.
It's pronounced like it sounds.
Exactly.
And Stanley is VUJ. So we're all over names or letters that don't match up with the names.
It was like Charlotte International said, we're the only airport that could have our ICAO code sound like who we are. Everybody else, you got to get something else.
Yep.
So,
hey, Ted, did you ever get the egg to North Carolina?
It hasn't. It's been to Alabama and kind of diagonal from Alabama back to Arkansas. So haven't made it to Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, any of that yet.
It's so funny because it's so insanely far from Oregon.
Yes, it is.
But I think he was in Alabama, which is, for me, you're practically there anyway.
For sure. Yeah.
So. Awesome. Well, need to obviously keep us posted on your adventures. So we still have one more, or no, we don't. Your check ride's in 2 weeks, you said?
A little bit less.
Okay.
And I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah. Until I fly with Mark. I told Mark he's going to have to be my DPE and evaluate me.
I immediately said, hold on. So question, Mark, as a commercial pilot, can I pay you to, no, I'm just kidding. Well, that actually brings up one comment that I wanted to make on the check ride thing, because when you get your private check ride, you can immediately exercise it, right? You can say, I'm going to go take this plane, I'm going to fly it, etc. When you get your instrument check ride, you can immediately exercise. I'm going to go file, right? You get your commercial check ride, you have to convince somebody else to allow you to exercise it.
Right.
And if you're a pilot in your own plane, then just forget about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is kind of funny that to the outside logical person, if you just say, "Oh, I'm getting my commercial rating, and therefore I can be paid to be a pilot," and the person knows that you have an airplane, then the first thing they do is they go, "Oh, great! So can I pay you to fly me to wherever?" And then it's like, well, no, I can't.
To take that one step further, a lot of people in my social circle knows that I'm looking for a job flying airplanes, and they only automatically assume that I'm trying to find people to come fly with me in my airplane that will pay me in my airplane. Like, and I heard an example. It was a YouTuber. It was a DPE. It wasn't Seth Lake. But the way I explain it to all my friends is you can pimp the plane or you can pimp the pilot, but you can't pimp both.
Yeah.
And I guess they kind of get it from that standpoint. So
unless there's some insane person that wants to put a Cherokee 180 through a 135, added to a 135.
No, wait a minute. You'd be surprised how often that happens. When I first started doing multi-engine training in the Duchess, it's on a Part 135 cert, and he uses it.
Really?
There's a large group of people. I was trying to get on with these folks, and I'm still am, down in South Georgia. This guy manages 5 airplanes, and they're just all individually owned. And there's Cirruses and Saratoga. There's a couple of multis, and there's one jet. But he puts them all on a Part 135 cert. And there is a reason for it. I don't know if it's tax or what, but apparently it's not that hard to get them certified for that. And yeah, so it's really not that uncommon. Sorry for the double negative.
Oh, that's surprising because it seems like a lot of administrative overhead and probably.
But cost. I think if you have a department of people that handle that, you've got a large enough fleet to do it.
And it's probably just another thing on the list. Yeah.
This reminds me of the old quip: the best way to make a small fortune in aviation is to start with a big one.
Yes.
Yeah. I heard it a little differently. How do you make $1 million in aviation? Start with 2 million.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
well, that's kind of everything, really. Well, yeah. So now, Ted, have you had any more glider interactions?
I haven't. I was planning on it over the weekend, spend a bunch of time on that, but I've had a serious case of the man flu in the last week. And as we all know from having the man flu, I could have died. So you can still hear my throat. And
I'm just glad you made it through.
Yeah, exactly. So, I wasn't really passing I'm safe or even just the I part of that, but I was looking forward to it. Didn't. My plane's been in for annual for quite a while, and I'm used to having about a 2 or 3 day annual, but I also knew this one was going to be very long because this is the gearbox inspection. It's the half lifetime. Does it still exist? And apparently mine was a box of metal shavings more than a gearbox. So to the point that the shop that they sent it off to was like, we've never seen one this bad. So it was very interesting to find out that the gearbox didn't make it. So still don't have the plane back. It'll be a little bit, and that's okay. I'll be out of town anyway.
So I'm going to hit a comment. C182 driver wants to know, does anyone know what that flashing object on top of Ben's printer is? And that is my Aeroglass. Friend the show, Banjo Pilot, built these. Yep. I recently changed my internet settings and it's not recognizing them, and I haven't updated it yet. So I turned it off so you wouldn't have to see that distraction of flashing my Aeroglass.
He's also been working on it a bit, and I talked to him this week, Banjo Pilot, but he's been working on it and needs to do a brain transplant on those. And I was tired of mine not working, so I actually took it apart and soldered my own brain into it and programmed everything about it. So that's why the one in the background finally is not dead on my wall of things. This is great for all the podcast
audio only listeners. Yeah.
But yes, my Aeroglass shows the METAR of the airport of your choice, has a great laser etched display on it, and it does these cool racing LEDs based on the wind speed. So it's a fun little gadget to have for sure.
Hey, can I can I bother you guys more about check ride things? I mean, we have
Let's talk
time,
about
right?
check ride
We're
things,
just whiskeying here, right?
This is whiskey. I may have to go get another
Fully.
beer, but go ahead.
Yep.
Continue on.
Ben, you're like, how long do you think this is going to take, Brian? Because I got to go for exactly that amount of time. I wanted to know what. Mr. Geek, you did your accelerated kind of a commercial situation.
Mm-hmm.
What was the most challenging part of your commercial check ride?
In my opinion, the most challenging part was regulations. So for me, I have this thing where I do the private pilot check ride maneuvers every 6 months. And I'd been doing that for, I've always been doing that. And so when it came to the commercial check ride maneuvers, the instructor that I used was like, you've really got these down. You don't need a lot of time to perfect these maneuvers. And he thinks that the reason was because I, every 6 months, go out and redo the private pilot check ride maneuvers. So the hardest part for me was going through the regulation scenario. And trying to figure out, I kind of went crazy trying to make sure I understood what all the scenarios were. And then the instructor gave the simplest possible one. And it was that particular portion of the check ride was done in 30 seconds. It took no time. And by far, I spent the most time worrying about that.
What is it?
Wait, what is it? What is what? The regulations?
This golden nugget that solves the whole problem and reduces this whole thing to a 30-second interaction in your check ride. You're just holding this back.
Do you have operational control?
Right.
That's it. Do you have operational control? If you have operational control, then no, you can't fly it. If you don't, you can. That was what it boiled down to. He asked me a question that was very, very simple and said, do you have operational control? Now, since then, Seth Lake has been in our Discord providing all of these commercial scenarios. And I, kind of thought I understood the commercial scenarios. And then I read some of those scenarios. And I'm like, holy crap, I do not understand.
Yeah.
I do not. It's way more complex than how even I had simplified it.
And I think that it seems like a lot of the scenarios that you get trained with and go through with your instructor or whatever, it seems like a lot of them are very extreme, but in reality, or these scenarios actually reflect the strange world or reality of being a commercial pilot and the things that you will come across, weird situations that you just could not ever dream up in some sort of example scenario. And when you get into, and the wormholes can go far, there's been some that I've had to break down that have gotten into weight and balance with ice sculptures, but then with the hazards of dry ice and, just all of this, it just starts to, in the real world, I could get myself through this situation very easily. It's called no.
Yes, exactly.
This is too muddy, too murky. I don't like it. Too many questions. I'm out. Also, what are you doing? So it's very interesting to go through it all. And if you've ever, have you guys ever felt any of the pain of perhaps FAA bureaucratic bloat? Have you guys been affected by this in any way?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Ted, I'm sure, has absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
That's the joy of a sport pilot. We don't deal with it as much. Yeah.
Yeah, sport pilot is the direct inner of flying.
There's your show title right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just insane that, in a lot of other legal worlds, isn't there something called reasonable expectation, or something that connotates that? I went through a session with our friend Evan, like I had mentioned last time, and he's a former lawyer, so he's got a really interesting take and look on all these things. But I just think, wow. So for instrument, you have to become, I don't know, some sort of Stephen Hawking of, I don't know, all kind of things. And then you get to this, and you really do have to become some sort of a lawyer or a compliance person or something. It's just so it doesn't seem reasonable that they would expect people to do this.
The way I think about it is, for private pilot, you become a pilot. For instrument, you got to become a meteorologist. And for commercial, you got to become a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's very well put.
And then, but the salaries of said positions are somehow inverted, and that becomes actually the drag that comes out of your bank account to get all these things done. It's an inverse relationship. You're not making the meteorological money. You're not making the lawyer money. You're just being taxed on that scale.
Let me make sure I get this right. Private pilot, you're a what?
Pilot.
Just what was okay? Instrument
Private pilot is a pilot. Instrument is meteorologist. Commercial is lawyer.
And then what's a sport pilot?
Oh, Cracker Jack pilot.
I hadn't thought of I haven't read the analogy that far.
It's I would have to say it's the retired trust fund baby. Maybe just go do what you want when you want.
I can't decide if I should be offended by this or not.
No, I don't think you should be offended.
But what that misses is with IFR is just how much it's about procedures, not about weather.
Right.
Well, I know that I'm getting. It's such a universal truth that you're getting close to check ride ready when your flying starts to just kind of fall apart. And it goes for this has been consistent upon every rating so far. Instrument. The last flight that I had before my instrument check ride was also about, I don't know, 8 to 10 days before the check ride. So I got to just have this lingering bad taste of failure for a week and a half before the check ride because the conditions in the winter and everything, I couldn't do it. Anyway.
Do you know you're ready once your flying suffers?
Yes. Once you start
lock it in. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you start regressing, but today, so the easiest maneuver for me for commercial has been the chandelle. I think that's the easiest one. That's the one that I straight up failed today. We ran the whole check ride sequence, and that was the one where it just, I don't know. I'm not even really totally sure what happened, but I botched it. And I was talking to you, Ben, earlier today on the phone, and you said it exactly right. It's one thing to go out and practice these maneuvers a la carte, but when you're sequencing them together in the way that a check ride works, there's something about a lot of the maneuvers for commercial where they kind of blend together.
The lazy eights and the chandelles are like, wait a minute, am I supposed to descend again? Or is this a lazy eight I'm doing? Or am I supposed to stay level? I mean, it does. They blend together.
Yeah.
Do you forget where you are halfway through and just completely maneuver? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of just blip out. It's strange. So I guess what you have to do is concentrate and know what you're doing. So that's what I'm working on.
Hey, our friend at Phoenix Sales says, have you used AI in any of your commercial studies?
That's a massively awesome question. And I will tell you, I have used AI incredibly to my advantage for commercial studies. For instance, every lesson that I've had, I've recorded, and I have the transcription of the lesson. Even though I have the video is not even necessarily that helpful. It's really just about getting the words. And then I need to synthesize that into actionable information. So that has been, something that I've been able to do. And then also I basically created a whole project where I'm just feeding all of the stuff in, everything that the DPE has sent me, all the transcripts for any phone calls, just absolutely everything's going in. So then now, for instance, I was sitting with my instructor today and we had a question about, what is the way that this is preferred to be done for the whatever. And I was able to just go in and just type, what is the exact verbiage of the way that he wants the endorsement done or whatever it was, because he had mentioned it somewhere in one of the many attachments or one of the, just all this stuff. And so in the moment, I wasn't having to fish through a bunch of files and look at a bunch of stuff and try to figure this out. Everything about that has been good. Also, I have used it to create these incredible cheat sheets. For instance, have all the mental math things done for me in easily understood formulas that I can easily access on a piece of paper. Another thing was my instructor said, I want you to sequence the check. We're going to do mock check rides, but I want you to create the check ride, and I want you to sequence all of the maneuvers in the most efficient possible way, considering climbs, descents, where they need to happen, all of these things. And while, yes, I could have sat around for 2 hours and thought about all this stuff and try to put all the different puzzle pieces together in different ways to see how it was, I've got the ACS in the project. I've got absolutely everything, all interrelational data happening. And so this is right here. I have the entire check ride flow that I built to use to practice, and it has quick reference for all the ACS tolerances. It has all of the information, and it's set up. It understood all of it knows so much about all of the details of the location and everything else that it was able to just perfectly sequence and lay out all of the maneuvers for the check ride in the optimal way. Now, I can appreciate that that's a skill building opportunity for me that perhaps I maybe missed out on. But in the real world, I'm not doing check rides. Also, I still have to evaluate and vet all this information. I can't just ask it to do stuff and then just go send it in an airplane and follow it blindly and Michael Scott myself into some scenario. So, I still have to kind of look at it, and it does take some massaging sometimes where you go, oh, well, it doesn't know that I'm giving more weight to this maneuver than that one because I know that I'm going to be given a choice between this maneuver and that maneuver, and I'm not going to choose that maneuver, or just, there's some variables there. But anyway, AI has been absolutely massively helpful in me keeping all the information organized, having a centralized place to access it all in a gated project that cannot hallucinate, cannot, get incorrect things, and keeps me really dialed into the ACS, and it puts ACS footnotes or shortcuts or, whatever. And so if I've needed cheat sheets, if I've needed documents, if I've needed any number of things, it's been massive. So that's a great question.
I knew when we mentioned AI that would get Brian wound up, and so
I'm sorry about that.
It's quite all right. Speaking of which, our friend Mike Alpha Golf says, anyone use Glide AI? Its primary reference is the ACS, VARs, AIM, IFH, ACs, et cetera, et cetera. He said it's fabulous.
I'm looking at it right now. I've never heard of it.
Neither have I, but I will definitely be checking that out.
Oh, okay. I thought that it was actually an aviation specific.
You're on the wrong Glide AI website.
Oh.
You want to be on glideai.io. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Oh, this one actually is the aviation specific.
Yes.
It's really interesting how there's so many things happening right now.
Yeah.
I've been talking to the Hobbsmate guys and trying to work out a time to go see them in a couple weeks because they're local, and they've got an AI platform for managing aircraft and partnerships and scheduling and all that. There's so many. Have you noticed how many AI risk management platforms have come out? And
You should have seen been at Sun and Fun. Oh my God. It's like every other booth. If it wasn't a straight AI vendor, it's here's how we're using our version of AI in our product. I mean, it is one right after the other.
do you think it's going to be I think it was Bill Burr that was saying this is like we're in the pets.com part of AI. What do you guys think?
For sure.
Ted, what do you think?
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. I lived through that other one, and the joke was when somebody bought pets.com for a lot of money, and the joke inside the big book retailer was they're in the business of shipping gravel, which is great until then Amazon started doing that like 15 years later. But yeah, it's going to happen. I don't know. We've seen markets just kind of go in circles like this, and it happens, and use what's good out of it and destroy what it isn't, or forget about what isn't. And
there was one
out of it.
vendor at Sun and Fun that really kind of caught my attention. Is basically you scan your logbooks, and they have this proprietary AI software that will transcribe it all from your photos, and then automatically researches all the ADs, does service bulletins, tells you everything you possibly need to know. And I don't know what the scan technology is, but they're saying that you can take pictures with your phone of all your logbooks and then send it to them. And then you pay a subscription, and it will keep you notified of all
Wasn't
you
that
need to know about your
Hobbs-made?
engine. Huh?
That wasn't Hobbs-made?
Yeah, I think that's Hobbs-made. Yeah. And you can put your picture of your TAC in there, and it'll just automatically create a usage entry, or all
this
these
is
things.
Wing MX.
Oh, see, they're so overlapped.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was not Hobbs-made. So,
well, they should have a cage match.
yes, I think they should.
We should have AI company cage matches and then just see who wins. No, it's also, I don't care what anybody says, especially for something as important as the interpretation of the worse than doctor handwriting of a maintenance logbook. There are rubber bands and paper clips behind this technology that are called human beings that have to be validating and going through this information, because there is no way. There's no OCR. Ted, would you agree that there's no way that you could reliably interpret this information?
Man, it is so hard to say now. I remember we had an entry from Mark's logs that we tossed through AI like a year and a half ago. And it was stuff that the four of us couldn't read. And we stuck it through. It was like, oh, that makes sense. And then you realized once you looked back at the words that no, it didn't. There were parts of this that were just completely wrong. And that's the part that's hard. Yeah.
What I remember is like, it came back with something, and there were parts of it I could not confirm myself if that was what it said. I had no idea. I'm like, it took a guess.
Yeah. It was provably wrong, though, in
there were
a place or two. But
I agree.
Mike Alpha Golf posted a comment here. He said, I like Glide AI because when it quotes the AM, it pulls up the page so you can read it and know that it's not a hallucinated quote. That's definitely the other half of this that has to be said all along, is got to verify it, no matter what it is. If you're using it to answer aviation things, ask it for a citation. Go look up the entry in the FAR. Whatever it is, just verify. Don't just use it and do the Michael Scott thing and drive in the lake with it. So,
speaking of lake, Seth Lake.
That was a
hell of a
segue.
That was a hell of a segue.
I amuse myself. That's all that matters. So he had, in a fairly recent episode of the fantastic VSL podcast, and if you're not listening, if you're doing anything, you should be listening to that in aviation. He's so great at breaking complex things down. But he was talking about how everybody just goes right to the what is it? What's the school? It's not Harvard, but it's what's the CFR? ECFR? Is that what it is?
Stanford, isn't it? Yeah. I hate that site. The CFR site, if you're Googling, you either get the government one or the stanford.edu one that has ads in it. And
so the ECFR is ECFR.gov.
Yeah, that's the government one.
And then there's the college one. But he had a good point, though. He was basically talking about how there's valuable differences, and he was talking about Cornell. That's what it is, which is also
Cornell,
The Office related. So the Cornell one has historical, so you can actually go see how these things have evolved, or if you need to understand how things have changed. That's one thing that's really good for, at least back to I think 2016 or something. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's citations and provable information as AI is getting into all of this. It's I don't know, aviation is just not a game. You know, it's something where you got to have your stuff right. So it'll be interesting to see over the next year, 2 years, how all these early buds that are kind of flowering in the whole ecosystem of AI and aviation kind of come and go. And then where's the real tech meet the use case and actually succeed and all of that. Pretty fascinating.
Yep. Before we wrap, Ted, what you got?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we covered this. Our Mr. EZG had a question early on. Again, this is a live stream only, not a podcast thing. This is not an ad to watch us on the live stream, but to answer a confusing question. In the intro that we show for the live stream podcast, whose is the green and white Cessna in the intro? I know the answer to this.
I know the answer, but let's let Brian answer this one.
Yeah.
It is footage from when I was getting my, are you guys ready for it? Tail wheel endorsement. Everybody drink. We only had one of those. So I promise, guys, after I'm done with commercial, I'm going to get back to, So Ben Lehman, our friend, CFI, tailwheel extraordinaire, Drift Aviation owner, based out of Gallatin, KXNX, or say no to Kilo, XNX. We've had him on the show. Go find the episode with him. He's great. Really good dude. And if you want to get your tailwheel, go to Drift Aviation if you're anywhere near Middle Tennessee. But that's his plane. It's a Cessna 140. It's great. It's such a, I don't know. There's something about the 140 and the 120, as much as, 170s are so cool and all the other, you get into all the other things, but there's something just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like the Schwinn 10 speed of airplanes. I
was going to say it's the VW Bug, because I think it's a classic. It doesn't matter when they're always going to be around. They're always going to be iconic. And I kind of feel the same way with the 140 and the 120.
Yeah, they have an everyman feel about them. They're approachable and friendly seeming and docile. And
I think that's one of the few airplanes that if you gave it to somebody, they're not going to just turn around and sell it and get the money.
Right.
If you're a pilot, obviously. Yeah. I think it's something that everybody would hold on to.
Yeah.
Just to play around with. So, well very cool.
Speaking of holding on, everybody in the chat, hold on.
Yes, we will be recording a second episode because some of us will be indisposed next week, and we want to keep the podcast going on a weekly basis. So I'm going to remind everybody, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to hit subscribe on your player, whichever one you use. And gentlemen, I want to check in, and that includes you, Mark. I do think of you as a gentleman. Any parting comments for the good of the order?
Nope.
None? Okay. Tonight's wisdom is flying is the perfect vocation for a man who wants to feel like a boy, but not for one who still is. Signing off, episode 179 of the Midlife Pilot Podcast. Goodbye, everybody.